This is Pierre, South Dakota. State capital. I see it right there. It's very foggy today. Right there. And we'll go over there. This is Pierre, South Dakota. It's the state capital, of course. 15,000 people. Fort Pierre across the river has, another couple thousand. I'm not sure exactly. There's the state capital. So, the legislature, I don't know how big the legislature is. South Dakota is a very rural state. It's a small state. Sioux Falls is the largest city in South Dakota. There's also Aberdeen. I don't know, maybe it's 10,000. There's not very many people. Capitol building. Today's a Saturday. Hey, look, Pizza Hut's hiring. When people say there's no jobs, there's jobs. There's jobs everywhere. Everybody wants to hire. Let's turn left. So there's a football stadium, Hyde Stadium, right next to the Capitol building. And there's another little field here. It's a baseball field. Probably some state offices, the representatives' offices. No, I'm not sure. I'm keeping my windows up because of the noise, of course. Here we are. Okay. Joe Foss Building, South Dakota Department of Agriculture, Game Fish, Parks, all inside these buildings. Cigarette Anderson Building. And Department of Revenue. Here's the Capitol. Here's the Soldiers and Sailors War Memorial. We'll get out and look at all this stuff. South Dakota PTA, South Dakota Education Association, Teachers Lobby. All the lobbyists have office space around the retailer, South Dakota retailers. Nice houses around it. And then there's a whole empty side of nothing. There are bronze statues of politicians sprinkled around the Capitol building. Now, why anybody would build a statue to a politician is beyond me. Here's another one. And Warren Green, and I'm sure it'll tell us what he did, but a bird was not too good to him. A bird didn't like his policies too much. Back side of the Capitol. What's on the back side? Nothing. There's a big, maybe some sort of an office building back there. Hospital. Big tax dollars hard at work. Something. This is the business end. Since it's Saturday, we've got a little better access today. It appears to be a metal, and it's that oxidized bronze color, same as the statues around South Dakota Capitol. Well, let's see if the birds liked this guy. I can't see the name. Well, we're at South Dakota Capitol, and look at this lawn. And then these mushrooms. These are straw mushrooms. I recognize them. I think they're edible. Lord knows what they've put in here so they've cut the tree down, and the stump is now creating these mushrooms. Same with this here. Department of the Military, Department of Veterans Affairs, Soldiers and Sailors World. Look at this building. Limestone. Maybe sandstone. Sandstone. Look at that bell. Wow. Pass and Stow. Philadelphia. Dedicated to a free citizen and a free land. South Dakota. This reproduction of the Liberty Bell was presented to the people of South Dakota. John Snyder, Secretary of the Treasury, as the inspirational symbol of the United States savings bonds, independence drive. Can't read. It's a little better. Identical dimensions. This one doesn't have a crack in it though. Look at that. The bronze bell. So if you've never seen the Liberty Bell, there it is. My camera always wants to zoom in. And here's the PTA. This grass is just, I don't know who their greenskeeper or their landscaper is, but man, they're doing a great job. Look how lush that grass is. So it says you can go in the north entrance every day, open every day, even holidays, 8 to 5. And you go in the north entrance. Now, I'm not exactly sure which way north is. Let's walk up the self-guided tour. This is directly across from the Capitol. Choosing South Dakota's capital did not come easily. Elections in 1889, 90, and 1904 put the capital location to a vote of the people. Pierre won all 3 elections. Once the site was established, the grand capital went up. The capital symbolized prosperity and stability for the young state. South Dakota's capital is a fine example of Renaissance revival architecture. Exterior features copper dome, so it's copper, and graceful Corinthian columns, a grand marble staircase, faux marble columns, colorful stained glass ceilings, and mosaic tile floors grace the interior. In time for the state centennial in 1989, the Capitol was restored to its original 1910 splendor. Historic colors, character, luster of the building were handsomely revived. There's a Capitol Lake that was built in 1913. And there's a QR code that you can scan on each. This is a self-guided tour. So we can get a booklet at the north entrance for a self-guided tour. We the people of the United States. Flag is messed up. Bicentennial. South Dakota's 1976. In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish the Constitution of the United States of America. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So it doesn't mean life, liberty, and happiness. It meant the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. That's right. They don't get to boss us around. They could make O's and D's, but they couldn't form a U. You see there where it says SOV. If they could make O's, granite. I'm just sure it's granite. That's granite. This feels like sandstone. Got some patina on it. This grass is just perfect. State of South Dakota, Great Seal, 1889. Let's take a close look. Some poor fella had to chisel that in. Under God, the people rule. There's a river going through it, apparently. An industry smokestack. I think this must be a paddle wheel. You see the paddle. Team of horses and representing the farm field agriculture. Here's some livestock. Trees, I believe. That must be trees. Some more trees, but this is definitely a smokestack. And this steamer paddle boat. Interesting. And this is in, the surface is polished. Part of it. But the inset is not polished. That would be impossible to polish. Cornerstone, they call that. State Board of Finance. Posted meeting. Looks like this is where we're doing. So it's Tiger Oak. Annex, 1932. Okay, Governor. Larry Roden, 202. This was where Christy Nome would have been. I believe Larry was, handpicked by her too. And he was as I've seen a story on him, he was a rancher. I think he must have been the lieutenant governor. And then when she was picked by Trump to be Homeland Security chief, I have to do a security check-in.
Not on the weekends. During the week there is.
This is our security guy, and we had to go through the security to get into the Capitol. Thank you.
Yep. Have a good day, sir.
So we're doing the self-guided tour. You come in the north entrance, and then you come, and then you find the tour books. Trail of Governors, State Capitol self-guided tour. That's what we'll do. I think we've got the place to ourselves. We are the only people here today. So in the book, you can sign in your name here. So let's sign in. 5/25. No, I think today is the 24th. Oops. Okay. So they stamp it so you know it's official. The original Capitol building. Let's just go through. Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor. Joseph Jacob Foss, Captain, Marine Corps. Tells you what he did for outstanding heroism. Call of Duty, 1902, November, October, November. Shot down 23 Japanese planes. Fitzmaurice, Spec 4, 17th Cav, 101st Airborne. Fitzmaurice observed 3 explosive charges which had been thrown into the bunker by the enemy. Realizing the imminent danger, he hurled 2 of the charges out, then threw his flak vest and himself over the remaining charge. He absorbed the blast and shielded his soldiers. He lost some of his sight and had some serious wounds. And he came back into the fight He refused to be medically evacuated. Medical officer Patrick Henry Brady. He had to go through heavy fog and smoke. And he was you can read it, I can't really read it. Arlo Olson, gallantry, Captain Olson. He was from Greenville, Iowa, though. Born. Hall of Honor. So these are Medal of Honor. We're in South Dakota. So, looks like somebody guards the coats. First floor. As you proceed past the marble staircase. This is the marble staircase. The treads are marble. This is all marble. All the side walls are marble. Go inside one of the restrooms to see what's up. This is 2025. The lights turn on automatic? Yeah, they come on. So these like the original. It's a hand sink. Buckets. I don't know, maybe to clean the mop out. These have been replaced. Radiator. It's all marble. Heavy duty hardware. It's all tiger oak and brass. This is the first floor. I guess they call that the rotunda. Greek key pattern. Okay. Here's the marble staircase. Here we go. There you go. Okay. Now we're getting into it. There's the marble staircase. Now those pillars are fake. They're painted up. They're not real. First Lady, 89 to 93, 1889. Some of the dresses, they might, replica dresses. First Ladies. Now, what would they do when the governor was a female? Right there. Byron Milne, first gentleman. Okay. Christie. Inauguration picture. Her family. And that was her dress. Very nice, purple. She was obviously the first governor, female governor. It's an interesting display. Got some artifacts over here. Wall of portraits. Gift store. This is really made for public display. Look at this. It works. That is cool. This is marble. I can't read it. Arthur. I should have brought my light. Can you read it? Charles Sheldon, second governor of South Dakota. Governors through the years. They get there, they have to set for a portrait, I guess, or maybe they get a picture taken. And these days, back then, they had to set for it, at least for the sketch artist. Can you read it? You need better lighting in here. This was a photograph. Governor. 1943 to 46. M.Q. Sharp. Bureau of Human Resources, Office of the Commissioner, School of Public Lands. In California, they'd have a 10-acre campus for each one of these, where they just have an office. In South Dakota. 10-acre campus and a building that sucks in the same amount of energy as a small town. Telephone. Some things never change. Private. Trying to show things in my videos where you don't get to see others, other places. South Dakota Supreme Court. Is the Supreme Court in this building too? Let's see. This was 87 to 93, I think. 95. I like that portrait. Walter D. Miller. These are Supreme Court justices retired. I didn't see Kristi Noem's picture. I'm sure that's what you guys all want to see. You get to see her on TV every day, practically. That's the first floor of this Capitol building. So, well, this is the first governor and his name is Arthur Millett. Kristi Noem, who was second to last governor, and who is now Homeland Secretary, she does not have a portrait in the building. The closest you can come is right here. That's it. The miniature of her husband's tux from her inauguration. But you can see her on TV about every night. Now we're up on the second floor. See some of the ornate marble continues. Up here we have maple woodwork. And the doors are locked. I'm guessing 16-foot ceilings through the corridors. Here's your dome. I guess the exterior of it is copper. Wow. I mean, it's amazing. This is, when you walk up the main stairway, this is actually maybe the first floor. I don't know what the other floor was, ground level, but I guess they call this the rotunda. Okay. So Yankton was the territorial capital and moved to Bismarck. This would be the Bismarck capital. But, you know, when North and South Dakota split, you know, you had to have your own capital. So, 3 votes. This is the rotunda. Governor's Mount Rushmore room. Governor office. Please walk in, it says. Nope. Secretary of State. Well, let's go up. Maybe that looks like that sculpture is a gift. The Mary Chilton chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Sioux Falls to the people of South Dakota. They've got elevators now, and they're fake. I guess we're going to 3. Okay. Okay, this is the Senate side, or the House. Can't really see it. So that's the House chamber. Now to get there, we have to go up above. These are the desks, women restrooms. So the House lobby on the other side, where they hang out. Now this is all oak again. Speaker of the House. Hugh Bartels. Speakers Emeritus. There's the lake in the back. Yeah. What do you call it? The overlook? Gallery, maybe? Yeah, gallery. So here's the chamber. Everybody faces this way, and the speaker sits here. So when the governor gives her address, this would be filled up, State of the State. I believe she gave it here, or whoever, he, these days it's a he, put the place to ourselves. Why is the fringe of the flag gold? Oh, wooden. Yeah. But, you know, they only work a few days a year. And by work, I mean they just vote. There's not much to do. And then so, what's all the hoop-de-doo about politicians? And why do people donate to them? That's what I don't know. you know? Why do they need such a huge building to do their business? So this is the Senate side. So the governor's office is below the Senate chamber. That's the House chamber. One more look.